Hi everyone, welcome to the Power of a Hobby. I'm your host Don Fenton, and today I have a new guest. Hi Nathan, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you for coming on. For anyone who doesn't know you, why don't you introduce yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so my name's Nathan McQueen, and I run a company called McQueen Partnership. We provide debt recovery and credit control solutions for businesses that struggle to collect their own debts. We've got that full outsource solution, whether it's single invoice through to entire ledgers.
Brilliant. And we've probably known each other now on and off for about a couple of years, probably through networking, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, through networking, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that I interviewed someone on a previous podcast, and I used to be their rugby coach. And that was like, and he went, yeah, that was when I was about 14, and he's now 35. And I'm like, oh my God. It's amazing when you how long you know people. And actually, we all have hobbies.
Yeah, we do.
So, first question that I ask everyone that comes on: what does the power of a hobby mean to you?
The hobby for me allows me time away from what I do as a day job. My day job's very demanding, networking, doing the work, etc. So for me, a hobby allows me to have that downtime, headspace to actually sit there and do what I enjoy doing without having to think about work, and give me something else to think about that allows that headspace to clear.
Yeah, I think it's amazing when, as you say, you've certainly got, knowing what you do, it is demanding and it is full on. And I suppose if you allowed it, it could completely control what you do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're working for clients that across the world. So some of those accounts that we're chasing are 24/7. So it's, if I didn't allow myself some downtime, I could, like I said, get involved. You've got access to your phones, your emails all the time. So you get sucked into that world, and it's quite easy to just allow your work to take over. Whereas if you actually dedicate some time to a hobby, then it forces you to actually have that downtime.
Yeah. And for those on YouTube, they can probably, I love the back of your video. So for those on YouTube, could probably have a little understand about what your hobby is. But why don't you, for those listening, why don't you let everyone know what your hobby is?
Yeah, I've got a massive obsession with Lego, in particular Star Wars Lego. So yeah, it's a hobby that's sort of starting to take over a little bit, taking over the house for sure, because finding space for everything, not just the Lego, finding the space for the Lego boxes, because I won't get rid of them either.
So you've got all the Lego built there, and
Yeah.
then got another complete separate cupboard for all the boxes.
Yeah, it's almost another room just for the boxes. It's one of these things with Lego. The value tends to stay if you still have the boxes and the instructions. So my wife's not too happy about it, but there is another room that just literally is demanded by boxes. So, and more and more. So yeah, and at some point we have to move out, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and then just make sure you can go right. I've got a room here, I've got a room here, a room for the Lego boxes, a room for the actual built Lego.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And the thing is, it's amazing how we get into things. So talk to me, Lego. When did you start, or when were you first interested in Lego?
so obviously as a kid, I think we all go through a bit of a Lego phase, but I actually got started to go properly into it only within the last year. So I was due to have an operation. I had to have my gallbladder removed, and I wanted to work out what I could do that would keep me away from work, because I didn't want to go. I shouldn't be looking at work. And I came across the Lego Millennium Falcon, and it's been downhill ever since I bought that. So it gave me something to do every day whilst I was recuperating. So I was trying to do a bit a day rather than go hell for leather and actually do the whole thing. So yeah, it took me around about, I think it was 34 hours, that build, because it's quite a large set.
Wow, that is a big set. So yeah. Obviously, yes, we can see Star Wars, we can see some other bits. So in terms of Lego, how many items do you think you've built? What different sort of items have you got? But also, what you said a little bit, it gives you opportunity to read instructions and just get a different headspace, really. How does that make you feel when you're doing that, or when you've accomplished it, or when you first open the box and go, right, hang on, this is what I need to be doing?
Yeah, so set-wise, I've got around about 140 different sets currently. I think I've got another 20 to build, which isn't a bad going for something that only started a year ago. And yeah, following instructions is good for me, because the fact that the work I do is, like I said, is very demanding. So if I can actually sit and follow quite strict instructions and see the progress as you're going along, it helps me completely zone out. So it's a good feeling. And obviously when you've built it, there's a couple of feelings. There's the feeling of it's now completed, and I'm like, right now, where's my next set? I have to know what I'm going to be doing next. What's the next set that's coming out, etc. So it's a bit of an up and down type of situation, but it's wanting to always keep pushing on to that next set and see I think Disney and Star Wars are doing well, because every time they bring out another episode of something, they're bringing out a load of sets for the spaceships, and I think it's easier for them to just keep, we'll throw in a few more spaceships into this series, and we can then capitalize on that by putting out some more Lego. So, but I have also gone down the route of, I've got movie cars, so I've got a load of those as well, and I've got architecture. So it's where I get given gifts. And the way my head works, I then have to start developing on that collection as well. I can't just leave it at that. I've got that one movie car, and now I've got to have. So I've got the DeLorean, I've got the Ecto One, I've got some of the cars from Fast and Furious, I've got the DB7 from James Bond. So it's almost like a compulsive disorder, really, to be fair, but it's a healthy one on the fact it lets me do something away from work.
Yeah, and I just think it's so, in terms of when you're doing it, and we were talking just before we came on air, not only just about the Lego, but sort of being involved in different communities. And obviously, for those who can see, you've got a beard, and we were having a chat about that as well, because I had a previous guest on who was talking about beards, which is why we sort of were speaking about it as well. So are you part of any Lego community? Are you part of, or is it just something that you started to do and actually, it's something to talk about? We were talking obviously about other people.
Yeah.
Are you part of communities, or is it something really at the moment just for you, but actually helps you break ice with people and things like that?
So I am part of, with Facebook and things like that, there's various groups that I follow and engage with that people have got common ground. Some of it's specific to Star Wars Lego, some of it might just be Lego. And it's a big community. I didn't appreciate how big it was, and across the world, global. It's obviously, it can be an expensive hobby. I think the Falcon was like £750, so it's not a cheap hobby. But nowadays, when you go into a Lego store, it's more adults than it is kids. So, and I have meetings with insolvency practitioners and other business owners, and it's amazing how many people actually collect or build Lego. I'm 50 years old. You think I'd have grown up by now, but maybe it's keeping me young. So
Probably is though.
Yeah, insane.
but it helps you. But I do think, as you say, where there's common ground, it's amazing where we can it breaks that ice with someone.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, the beard, I've had that where we're networking through situations where people have approached me because I've got a beard and they have a beard and people want to talk about beard. And I had a meeting yesterday, and the first thing we started talking about was the fact that the gentleman had a whole attic that he converted, and all he does is collect Lego Star Wars. And he's got he's a little bit older than me, but he's collected a lot of Lego. He's got almost every set that's out there. So it's just, yes, there is a common ground. And that ended up developing into the fact that the next job they've got available, I'm going to get it. So you've built on that common ground.
So you say, obviously, when you started as a kid, because I think my daughters, my stepson massively into Lego. Both one of my youngest daughters, she loves her Lego, and again, it's one of those. It's amazing how it brings people together.
Yeah,
and I think it's as well. It's something that you can enjoy. Maybe as a family, maybe not, depending on how much it takes over the house.
Yeah, and when a kid, I think it's different now as an adult. When I was a kid with Lego, I think you had a lot of bricks and you built whatever was in your head. But nowadays, it seems to be the sets are fairly specific, like the Falcon or the ATAR. So yes, you can probably break them down and make them into whatever you want. But as an adult, or for me specifically, I'm like, I want it to see the set it was built to be. Whereas a kid, I think you get a set that was a car and you build the car to start with and you think, yeah, that's cracking. And then you break it down and then you go and build yourself, I don't know, a castle or something. You're building something that it wasn't created for. So it encourages you that type of thought process. But I think as an adult, I like the regimented, this is the instructions, this is what you're supposed to build, and that's what it's supposed to look like at the end of it.
Yeah, and I think it is that, because actually I know that, you know, a lot of schools will use Lego, but it's about enabling children to have that creativity.
Yeah.
And as you say, get out what they're feeling, because I know a lot of, you know, a lot of what we talk about within this podcast is around how hobbies support mental health and stuff like that. So, you know, I know for a fact that there are, you know, with play therapy and things like that, Lego is a massive part of it.
Yeah.
And actually, just even as an adult, because it creates that space for you just to not worry about what's going on. It's whether it's like a martial arts, be it, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's that hobby for anyone. Was it the first thing you decided to go to when you had the operation? Or what made you choose it?
I actually think that I'd been to the hospital for my consultation and I was walking back through the city centre and I passed the Lego store and they had the Falcon in the window. So I was like, and of course we were it was various lockdowns and whatever, and Amazon being Amazon and the ability to be able to deliver the next day. I think it was a moment of madness on Amazon thinking, oh yeah, I'll buy that and put it in your basket. And then next day it turns up and you think, actually, what have I done? So yeah, it was, but it's good because like, so my previous hobby as such, I mean, I'm a gamer and what have been for years and years, but I never used to come off the gaming consoles feeling better than I went on, because it'd be like Call of Duty or something. I'd just come off more angry than I went on. So it's not generating the good mental health situation. Whereas Lego, for me, it allows, like I said, it allows me to have that mental headspace and gives you that good feeling you've actually produced something that I can then go on display, rather than the fact that I've been killed 50 times by some teenager halfway across the world and with some form of rage. So it's a better hobby for my one, blood pressure, and two, mental health.
Do you still go now?
Very little. If I've literally got downtime, then I'll be finding the next set of Lego. And I have got one of these where if my Lego sets get lower than 10 boxes still to build, then I'll go and get another set just to make sure that I've got sets to build. And Christmas is coming, so I'm hoping that's always going to be on my Christmas list. I'm going to be like a kid again. It's like I'm asking Santa for a load of Lego.
What set would you like then Santa to bring?
There's a fair few, and trust me, the wife has had every single set pictured and sent to her on text message, so she knows exactly which ones need to be acquired.
Part of me was going to ask, so where's this going? What is this? But you've just said that actually it does become a big thing though, doesn't it? When you get the mood and the feeling that you get and just on how you work.
Yeah.
It's amazing how you just want to continue things.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's a fairly, it can be an expensive hobby. So it's not for everybody. It's like anything, and you can put as much into it or as little into it as you. I mean, Game can be exactly the same. Gaming is exactly the same. I mean, you can spend thousands and thousands a year on games and the latest consoles and things like that. So everything becomes expensive. But there are ways of doing it within your own budget. Yeah, it's. I mean, I can't even go on holiday without. So I've been on a holiday. I went on holiday at the beginning of the year, and I came back with a set that I couldn't get in the UK because it was currently out of stock. So, and it was the first thing I did. Went to one of the Lego stores. I've just been to Copenhagen, and I came back with Lego from there. But Denmark is the land of Lego, so it's like I had to. So it becomes something. Right, I'm seeking that out. So it's maybe it's a compulsive.
It is the thing is though, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Lego, whether it's some of the other cars that you've got, the one thing we can say with complete confidence is it is a world global thing.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's becoming more and more. It's like I said, every city, every town seems to have a Lego store. It's a worldwide thing. The sets are getting more and more complicated or larger, or there's a theme, and it's a good marketing tool. They know how to suck you into the fact that you're not like in the next set or whatever. I mean, I've got the Lego helmets, for example. Where I started collecting those, there was two that I couldn't get because they were discontinued. So to buy them now in their boxes would probably be £200, £300, whereas they were 60 quid originally. So you're like, so my head has to work. Now I've not got a complete set, so that makes my head pop. So I thought, well, how do I find a way of completing this set? So through the Facebook forums and things like that, I came across a website called Bricklink, and it allows you to buy individual bricks from different dealers from all around the world. So you can go on Lego, you can download the instructions. Because I'm a geek, I'll create a spreadsheet that then tells me all the parts I need, and then I'll order it from all the individual places. So I've got two helmets that I don't have the boxes for, but now I literally have the helmets because the fact that I've ordered them from across 10 or 12 different dealers that have sent me all the little individual parts through the post, and then I've sat there and built them up. And
you've actually built them.
Yeah. So there's the Stormtrooper and the TIE fighter pilot, which is the top corner. Yeah. So they didn't come in the box, but they are now. They're finished. They're genuine. They're exactly the same parts as you would if you bought them in the box. I just had to buy them individually from all around the world and do that spreadsheet because, like I said, I am a bit of a geek. So
wow, that blows me away. And it blows me away that you can actually do that. Not even just that. Actually, that you can buy the individual little parts, because I can imagine. Yeah,
I think trading Lego is a big thing. I mean, there's some collectors. I'm a collector that likes to I want to build them. I don't want to keep them in the box. Yes, the value stays with it. Like any toy, if it stays in the box, that's where the value is. And I've got friends that have got rooms full of boxes. I've got a friend that collects the Star Wars Lego as well, and his are just in the garage in racking. They're in the boxes, and he's not intending to build them. And I'm like, why? They're there to be built, they can be an investment. But I also like the fact that I want to build it. Yes, they're not as worth as much when they're out of the boxes, but if you keep the boxes, they're still worth a little bit more than without the boxes. So yeah. That's what I keep telling the wife anyway.
Yeah, so when she goes into that room and she trips over the boxes, no, you can't. You've got to be careful.
Yeah, definitely.
You've just cost me money there. Come on, you've got to be careful there. So if we looked at your, and apologies for those that are listening to this on the actual podcast, not looking at it. So in terms of your wall there, what is the one you're most proud of?
Oh yeah, the Falcon all day long. I mean that's 7,500 pieces. So it's a big piece of kit. It's just over a meter long. So yeah, it's a big unit. But they're all different. It's like I said, Disney are really good, and Star Wars are very good at making sure that they keep bringing out new spin-offs from each of the series and then bringing a load of content. So I've started to actually put them into themes. So you've got your dark side, you've got your Falcons, but then along the bottom you've got your Bad Batch and you've got your Mandalorian. So even that has to be organized into some form of, it's not just random on my shelving, but it's when they bring out particular sets that then suddenly I'm overwhelmed on those shelving units. So I'm not sure where the next one's going to go.
Yeah, I obviously, when we first met, apart from the odd award ceremony, we've done most things online.
Yeah.
I knew you were into your gaming.
Yeah.
But actually, it just takes things to a different level.
It does it
completely.
And like I said, the gaming was good, and I've been an avid gamer for years. It does take up. It's one of those things that can take up a lot of your time as well, though, and you lose hours without even realizing it. With Lego, at least I can go, right, today I'm going to do a couple of bags of that and then put it away. Whereas when you get online gaming, especially Call of Duty, I'd be sucked in for hours. Or Valhalla, I've spent hundreds of hours playing that thing. Hence where the beard came from. So for me, it's a better way of managing my time and my hobby at the same time. Because I have got this. I mean, when I did martial arts, I trained 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to do anything by half measures. So I don't do it at work. So even in my hobby, I follow the same through. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it to the best of my ability. And how is that? Well, train 7 days a week, or the fact that I want to sit there and make sure that the stickers are in line. They're not like, if they're slightly wonky, they come off and they're back on again. So it's like that. Otherwise, I can't rest.
I think it's brilliant. Thing is, we've spoken almost 22 minutes on Lego, and that's gone really quickly. And
It has.
This is the beautiful thing about this. And people at some point will get bored of me saying this, but it's amazing how quick time goes when people are talking about things they enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
And actually, for me, that's what a hobby should be. And you've touched on others, you've touched on your martial arts. All of these are all hobbies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and they can take you places, but fundamentally, they're all hobbies to make you feel better, to be part of your identity, because I'm sure probably martial arts for you was probably part of who you were because you were training so often.
Yeah, definitely. And it took me all over the world as well. So it was good. It gave me the opportunity to not only train and keep fit, but it also gave me the ability to see a few sites in the process as well, with a little bit of touring. So it was good. But as like most things, you get old and things start to creak and ache, and you don't repair it as well as you should do. And because it was full contact and I'm a debt collector, meeting insolvency practitioners or clients where I'm looking to win work and I look like a debt collector as a door knocker, and that's not the type of debt collector we are. So if I've got fat lips or black eyes or whatever, then it doesn't give the right impression. So it had to retire from the competing side. But yeah, and then things like Lego and gaming come along to fill those holes. Well, like I said, the Lego is less stressful because I could walk away from that chilled, where I used to walk away from gaming.
Not so chilled.
Not very chilled. No, not at all.
Final question.
Yeah.
If someone came up to you and they haven't got a hobby, but they wanted a hobby, what would you say to them?
Find something that you're passionate about, something that makes you want to do it. As in, so like things like Lego for me was like, from being a kid, that it was a childhood memory. I wanted to sort of go revisit that. It was a good space for me to be in. It was something that gave me good thoughts back in the day, so it was going to generate that same sort of thing. Look, the martial arts were something that I became part of a team, so it helped with, because that gave me, one, a support chain, but two, the feeling of camaraderie and things like that. So work on what makes you feel good. So Lego is very, obviously, it's quite a solo thing, unless you do sit around with family. But the trouble is with instructions, you're not passing the instructions around to put the next brick on. And that sort of. So work out whether you want to do something that you enjoy doing, whether it's gaming or Lego, or something that it's a solo thing, or whether you enjoy team sports or team events, and then sort of build your hobby around that. What makes you feel good? And that's how I've done. I mean, things like hobbies develop and change as you get older, just because of the fact that money might be a thing, but yeah, nothing has to cost the world. Start small, give it a go, and then see whether you enjoy it. Some people enjoy going to the gym all the time because it becomes that. So it's just find something that makes you feel good, and not that when you come off it, like my gaming, angrier than when you started. That would be my advice when it comes to choosing a hobby.
No, brilliant. And I completely agree with that. Nathan, for those who want to get in touch with you, whether it be work or even Star Wars, Lego, whatever else, where can people find you?
Yeah, so they can email me. It's nathan@mcqueenpartnership.com. Reach out. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, so happy to chat debt recovery or Lego or whatever they want to chat about. I talk for a living, so I'm sure I can.
You can have a conversation with them.
Yeah, I can definitely have a conversation. So yeah,
brilliant. Thank you for your time.
No worries.
It's gone really quickly, and it's again great to be able to talk about something that you enjoy. And it's amazing how people come off this podcast with a smile because actually they've enjoyed it. So thank you for that. Thank you everyone for tuning in, whether you're on listening to the podcast or watching the video. I'm Don Fenton, your host, and I'll see you again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.